I love the art on clipper lighters and find it hard to throw them away. When the pile grew big, I thought, what can I do with it? One day the idea of lighting them up came to my mind. Making a long story short, let me kill off the light. There are 8 clippers with LEDs inside of them, connected to a capacitance sensor and LED control IC that is governed by an 80Tiny85. How cool is that? I really love reusing stuff. Few years back I made mini bikes from disposable lighters parts and then a funky desk light from the leftover plastic bodies of the lighters. But that took a lot of effort to assemble. This time I wanted to build something that will be easy to assemble and reproduce. Then I remembered that the spark mechanism can be pulled out, which make a place for a 3mm LED. Putting that with my left to capsense based switches, I was on a mission. With the spark mechanism as my template, I designed a 3D peg with a hole all the way through it for the LED cable, and 2 holes on the top that are the base of the spring twist. If you take the spark mechanism of the clipper and undo the plastic bolt, you will score a spring. Solder a wire to it and place it in its designated holes in the peg. Slide the peg into its place and adjust the spring position, creating a great capsense pad that is easy to reproduce. I then turned to design a case to hold the lighters in place. I designed it for 8 lighters mainly since I got a tiny 3D printer and I could not fit a full circle of 16. This was the first setup I done. I used an Arduino Uno with MPR 1-to-1 and the LEDs connected directly to 8 of the Uno pins. Since I planned to use 80Tiny85 and the MPR 1-to-1 was too big and performing badly, I looked for another solution. And it was found in the form of the CAP1188 IC. It's an I2C, 8 channels, capacitive touch sensor with 8 LED driver, just perfect for the job. There are a few available breakout boards out in the market, so I just ordered one. When the IC finally arrived, I rewired the project. The CAP1188 can be set as an open drain output, which removes the needs for current limiting resistors for the LEDs. But I had to rewire the LED to a common VCC instead of the common ground in order for it to work. The IC have some built-in effects to be driven directly from the capsense stat without any need for external commands from the MCU, which is super nice. But I wanted them to be touched on and off. I still plan on making use of the PWM to make them dim and not just turn on and off. I eventually moved it to work on the 80Tiny85. Let's review the code and the logic. I found a few libraries for the IC that worked on the 80Tiny85. All of them had issues, so I took some parts of each and created my own. The data on the touch pads from the IC comes back as a byte, when each of the 8 bits representing the 8 touch sensors channels. So if we touch pad number 5, the touched variable will receive this value, or 16 decimal. And if we touch pad number 8, the touch variable will receive this value, or 128. This line of code is a clever way to let bitmath do the work for us. Let me explain the logic. The LED state variable holds the states of the 8 LEDs, each bit representing an LED, same as in the touch sensor. When we start, that value is 0, and therefore all the LEDs will be off. If we receive a press on pad number 1, the value of touched will be 1. If we XOR this with the LED state, which is 0, we will get 1. If next we press on pad number 5, we will get 16. And if we XOR it with the LED state, it will keep the LED number 1 on and turn on LED number 5 as well. Now all that is left for us to do is to output the actual state of the LEDs with the LED output command. I will add that this will only work if we touch one lighter at a time. I got some really crazy ideas for this project that will involve sound and effects. Just really find it hard to find time lately. It's been a crazy and challenging 2 months here. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't done it by now, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and see you next time.